This is episode 48 with Nicholas and Amanda Bayerly.
Because we believe that if you change the man, you can change the house. I believe that the leader of the household is the man.
Welcome to Men of Abundance, the podcast for those looking to level up their lives by hanging out with some of the greatest leaders and established professionals in our community, living a life of integrity, honor, and the abundance mentality. Prepare to pay it forward with your host, former Army medic turned lifestyle entrepreneur, Wally Carmichael.
Hey, Men of Abundance. It is Aloha Friday once again, and today we have a very dynamic couple that are doing amazing things in their business. They're just revamping their business, and I'm so excited to share this conversation with you. Now, as you may have already noticed, we talk about a few things that are a little bit controversial to some people, but just listen to what they have to say. And then, if you have anything to add, we would love to hear your comments. And you can do that by either going to menofabundance.com/048. Leave your comments down below this podcast. Or you can get in on the conversation. The easiest way to do that is to go to menofabundance.com/048. That's where you're going to find the link that says get in on the conversation. Click on that link. Then when you get to Facebook, click on the green button to join, and I'll give you access. Then you can comment down below this post. I'm going to post this. I always post all these episodes on that Facebook group. And of course, let's get as many people in on the conversation as possible. Share this episode with others. Let them get in there. Let them make their decision. That way we can all learn and grow together. Now, before I introduce Nicholas and Amanda, I want to remind you that I'm still looking for a couple folks who are looking to start their own podcast. I'm going to lead, train, and mentor just 5 folks. We're going to get started here in a couple weeks. So if you're at all interested in starting your own podcast, even if you're just considering it, send me an email to wally@menofabundance.com. Put podcast coach in the subject line, and I'll get right back with you. All right, so Nicholas and Amanda Bayerly are the creators of the $1 Billion Body, where they help men look and feel like $1 million. Hey, who doesn't want to feel like $1 million, right? Now, they have worked with some of the top entrepreneurs and speakers and are international speakers themselves, sharing the stage with Cole Hatter, Jordan Harbinger, and Than Merle. They were nominated Top 30 Under 30 Influencers and are passionate about helping men unlock their true power, confidence, and health. Nicholas and Amanda, welcome to the show.
Hey man, thanks so much for having us. We're so honored to be here and excited to rock the house.
You know what? I brought this up to a couple other folks the other day. I went through all of my podcasts because I just get to listening to. I subscribe to too many podcasts just to kind of check people out and see what they're doing and stuff, And you guys made the cut.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
We're taking a hold just for this month since we're launching the new name of our podcast next month, and we had so many people message us. They were like, what's going on with your podcast? I haven't gotten a podcast in like 2 weeks. I'm freaking out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I had noticed that as well, and I don't get to listen to them all right when they come out. I just kind of space them out whenever I can because there's certain things that I want to pay attention to, but the content that you guys share and just your chemistry and the way you guys talk to people and within each other, it's just an amazing chemistry. I really love the show, and then of course very valuable information.
Yeah, we really appreciate that, man. I mean, we feel so honored to have someone like you of your caliber with such a great show telling us that, us being ourselves is something that's interesting. And there's nothing that feels better because the only way we have to keep that going is just keep being ourselves and keep growing. So really appreciate the feedback.
I totally agree, and my pleasure. And thanks for those kind words, most definitely. So where are you guys at in the world?
Right now we are in San Diego, California, so northern San Diego, living it up. I was born and raised here, and Amanda actually came all the way from Ohio and now is living in San Diego with me.
Okay, so here's a little bit of trivia that I've realized in my time of being in this podcasting space and talking to some amazing people, and specifically podcasters. Why are all the podcasters either in Tennessee or San Diego?
Goodness, I think it's honestly just the events that are held, the type of community. I think that if like one podcaster is there, then other people want to move there too. I know, we had John Lee Dumas, who lived here in San Diego for a long time, and Pat Flynn, Amy Porterfield. There's just a lot of people. Oh my goodness, Michael O'Neill. So I just feel like
Cody Dog is out there.
Yes, yeah, Dennis is out here. There's so many people, and I think just San Diego in general is very, very entrepreneurial, and especially in the internet space. So I think podcasting, is just something that goes along with it.
Well, and internetpreneurs as well, their goal is to be able to have freedom. And, being in the best city on the planet, at least up there in the top 5, you're just in a spot where you attract a lot of people that want freedom. They're going to come here. And so I think they're a good example of what you can do when you build a business online and you can live wherever you want. And most of them live in the nicest neighborhoods or live right above the water. And so definitely a good example to follow.
Now, I have been to San Diego. I have not been to Tennessee, so I can definitely agree with you in San Diego. However, I have to be biased, and I've lived in Hawaii for 9 years, and I've been here for 6 years straight. And I'm right on the beach, and I'm absolutely loving what I'm doing. But I am working full-time still, so I don't want to make people think that I'm a full-time podcaster like some of you all. But I'm enjoying my life and my environment nonetheless.
Yeah, well, I don't think Hawaii's too bad. We were just talking about that today, actually. I was like, Nicholas, we should go to Hawaii. So, yeah.
You absolutely have to. Yeah, Angus Nelson was out here on vacation. He's got family that lives out here on his wife's side, and we got a chance to sit down and talk for a little while.
Well, I've only driven through Tennessee, but I've heard great things about it. So two great places to live in America, plus Hawaii.
Of course. Thanks for that. So I like to start the show out the same way that I start out every one of my mornings for the most part, and that is with an attitude of gratitude. So what do you two have to be grateful for this morning?
Yeah, I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be able to work hard on things that we actually care about. I'm just so grateful that I'm just able to put my hands towards something that I actually really have a passion for, and that I just have the opportunity to work hard and not have to worry about things that the generation before me, my dad and his dad, had to worry about, which was providing for the family or pushing toward or through different types of working environments. We had the chance to actually build something that we really care about, and the ability to just work really hard, whereas they maybe had to start working at 12 years old, 9 years old, 14 years old to provide for themselves. Amanda and I didn't have to do that, and that gave us freedom to be able to go out there and pursue a passion. So I'm grateful for that.
How about you, Amanda? Is it the same thing?
Well, Nicholas and I have been going through Arnold Schwarzenegger's autobiography on Audible. And it's been so inspiring, and just how different his upbringing is than ours. He grew up in Poland, and when he wanted to work out, he had to drive a really long way to go to a gym, and he couldn't, you couldn't just go to a gym down the street, and you couldn't just get protein whenever you wanted, from the grocery store, and, have a home gym, and just all of these things that we take for granted. I'm just really grateful for being able to do all the healthy things that I do every single day, because, 60 years ago in some other country, it was almost impossible to do that. And so I just feel really, really blessed. I'm just so grateful being able to go to the gym whenever I want, eat healthy, get access to clean water, have a really comfortable bed. So all those things that we can easily take for granted, I'm just really grateful for that today.
Those are very good points, and I really appreciate you sharing that. And even with everything that we have going on in the world today, people just don't realize we truly live in the best time ever.
I completely agree. It's by far the best time, no matter what people say is going on. No matter what the news highlights, to be an optimistic person in this day and age just gives you no limitations. You are truly limitless.
So I gave a very brief intro and a bio on what you guys have been up to, very, very brief, because I want to hear directly from you, kind of your journey as you're coming along. We're not going to get completely into it in this part right here, but I'd like to hear a little bit more about you, and let's get a little bit personal.
Yeah, so we are about to launch our new website, thebilliondollarbody.com. We're so excited for it, where we're really helping men, unleash their peak of their confidence, their health, their power, and just looking and feeling like $1 billion every single day. We have gone through both amazing health transformations in our life. Nicholas lost 60 pounds. He then, we met and he trained me to live this healthy lifestyle. As you know, I'm from Ohio, so didn't grow up with the healthiest background in nutrition and working out and everything. And so coming out here, I had a major awakening to what health was in California. So, we've just been over the past 4 years just evolving, what our mission is. And I think we've really honed in on, the success that we've had so far, really being able to help men tap into who they were created to be through the avenue of their health, because we believe at the end of the day, your health is your wealth, and you can make all the money in the world and you can have some amazing wife, but if you don't have your health, you can't serve your wife the best you can, you can't serve your business the best that you can. And so that's really our mission, what we've been up to. We're about to launch a 15-day six-pack challenge. We have 40 men that are going through our beta testing right now, and they are all seeing such crazy results. I'm so excited for this to, become, something that people can join. That's going to be on thebilliondollarbody.com as a free offer, a 15-day workout plan. So there's a lot of things going on right now, just focusing on how can we serve men the best way possible.
That is really exciting, and I feel your excitement. I really do, because I know how exciting it is to launch something brand new. But I got to ask you, why men?
Yeah, it's not going to be the most popular answer in the entire world. I'm sure there'll be some people that agree, some people that strongly disagree. But there's a lot of women out there that are taking their health seriously. We see it through women doing 5 diets a year on average, different diets each time. They're trying to do something all the time to, help make themselves better, whether it's through Botox or whether it's through getting their nails done or through having spa treatments. And we see men not really doing stuff like that very often, especially men that are masculine, that are men that are wanting to be leaders and step up and really lead a generation. And so we want to work with the masculine men, or the men that want to step up, because we believe that if you change the man, you can change the house. I believe that the leader of the household is the man, and what that means is that the man takes all responsibility for any negative things that happen, any repercussions in the family, whether the wife or the kids mess up on something. The husband takes all the burden, takes all the repercussion, so that allows the woman then to go try new things and go fail and not have the repercussions for it. So meaning that women can actually do more. But because of that, the man assuming the role of leader of the house, we also need the man to also lead by example. And so when we change the man, we can change the house. You change the wife, and the man still has a beer belly with with an unhealthy testosterone level that's struggling with emotions, and then all of a sudden, some 25, 30-year-old dude comes around and is actually treating his wife with respect, and it just causes a lot of strain in relationships. So helping men raise their testosterone levels, balancing out their hormones so that they can rise up and be the man that their wife always wanted them to be, or to attract that future wife that they want to have and become a true leader in the household, and ultimately change 1 million men's lives along the way, which is going to change households.
Nicholas, I completely agree with that. You're right. That is very unpopular in today's day and age. But there are so many dynamics that you're touching on there that has gotten us to where we're at today. And I personally agree with that. And we've had this conversation multiple times on Men of Abundance, and one of the many reasons why I personally started the Men of Abundance community and podcast. As far as the health and fitness is concerned, I was a group trainer. I was an insanity instructor, and I was in group training. And I did a lot of the group training for free. And then I got hired on to work over at the Honolulu Club. And I only bring that up because I want to point out the fact that 90% of the clients that came and worked out with me were women. And I get it. Sometimes, the group workout isn't really for most men. But even the guys that are in the gym aren't necessarily healthy. they're truly not taking care of themselves on the full gamut like you're talking about. And then you have the whole other aspect of what you're just talking about. I always say that you change a man, you change a family, you change a family, you change a community, you change a town, state, nation, and ultimately the world. And that's a very big mission. But I think you guys have what it takes to do your part, and I truly commend you for it. I love it.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. And just to touch on it, there's lots of women out there that complain about, my husband never is supportive of my diet or these different things. And to be honest, I'm not interested. And we had a co-ed environment for a very long time, and it didn't give the men freedom to be able to post about struggles or talk about struggles that they were really going through. And so through sacrificing and firing, for lack of a better word, all of our female clients, it's brought a lot of freedom to these men so that they can be more supportive. The thing is, a man rising up as a leader is always going to cause the woman to be able to excel more. I think that's where there's a big struggle for people is, those strong women that have had to lead on their own and become the man of the house, which a lot of women have become, don't understand that, deep down inside they want the man to lead, so it gives them more freedom to be able to go and excel more, not push them down and hold them down, as you can see in other religions across the world that do that.
I mean, along the way, I know you two have done so many things, and part of the reason why, and by the way, I have to say this, thank you for both of you coming on, because when we were first talking, I know you guys are restructuring your business structure and everything, and I wanted to talk to you both because it's rare, anyway, that I've seen that couples can truly work together in a business. It's not always possible, and so closely like you two do, so I really appreciate that, both of you coming on.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, we definitely get asked a lot of questions on how do you guys do it? How do you, build this business as a couple and work together? And we've been doing it since the beginning, so I think it makes things a lot easier when you start it in the beginning instead of, working separate from each other for 30 years and then trying to start a business. But we started from the very beginning. I was 17 years old when we met, got married at 18, and jumped right into business. So it's a little bit easier, but still hard when you have to balance, marriage, business, and all of those sorts of things. So thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure, and that's perfect. So let's lead right into our kick in the gut moment, because I know it hasn't been, all rosy along the way, just because I know how life is. Everybody has their kick in the gut moment, so I'd like to hear yours.
I have a lot of kick in the gut moments, and that's why we are where we're at 24 and 22. It's like, the kick in the gut moments are the deciding factors whether you're going to be a champion or not. And I know that a lot of it, I'm speaking to just men out there talking this way, but that's the decision maker right there, where you get to choose to get up and go. You need to understand that the worst days of your life, how you perform on your worst day, is the deciding factor on how much breakthrough you're going to have on your best day. And so it's not the times where you have your best day that you're having the biggest breakthrough. You're just finally reaping the reward of the seeds that you sowed when you were having your worst day. So, I could pick one. When I wrote my first suicide letter when I was 6 years old, because I was so depressed and so on the crappiest food and had just hormones out of balance and just wanted to die because I got grounded. Or maybe when I was 12 years old, when my dad told me I would never be the best, and I quit the only sport that I ever thought I was going to do, that I was going to be a pro athlete, that was going to be all my income and all my vision in my life completely taken away from me, and gained 60 pounds. Maybe that's the gut kicker, right? But from there, losing the weight and being able to find my wife, and then from there start a business, and we're going well, we're doing really well, we're doing $40K a month in gross revenue, and then boom, losing it all in 1 month at the age of 21 and 20. So whatever gut wrenching moment it is, it's like, as an optimist and as an entrepreneur, you have to be an optimist, and as a male with testosterone, you're naturally going to be an optimist. I look at that stuff and I can feel the pain, but I'm also super grateful. So picking one of those, the biggest definer for me was when I gained all that weight, and I had my dad tell me, that I'd never be the best when that's all I ever wanted. And but from there, I'm just so grateful for those times, because that's what defined me to be where we're at now. And through the income struggles, through the business struggles, just having that commitment and burning your bridges and not having any plan B, has always been, there's just nothing else you can do. And just always putting into perspective, like you did the gratefulness moment right before the gut wrencher, right? How can I ever sit here and complain about the fact that I'm sitting here drinking 9.5 pH water and balancing the pH in my body and eating perfect healthy food and saying that I'm struggling, right? That I'm going through a problem in my business or a conflict. We live in the best place where we actually can have these problems, these gut wrenchers that, when we put them in perspective, it's really not that big of a deal. I get that there's family events, there's all these different things, but I'm just really grateful for all those moments. But yeah, picking one of those, there's a lot of them along the journey.
Yeah, that's really heavy, Nicholas, and I really appreciate you sharing all of that because and you're absolutely right. Did you want to weigh in on that, Amanda?
Yeah, we've gone through a lot of the same struggles together, which has been awesome, like to have that support system, that person that's there for you. I think just you be willing to grow every single day, as an entrepreneur, as someone who is listening to this podcast, you already know you want to grow. You already know you want to challenge yourself to become the person you can be, and just accept it and realize that you're on this journey every single day. Sometimes, for me, I had to overcome the struggle of being a perfectionist. Every single thing had to be perfect. It would take me forever to put out a video. And once I finally got out of my own way and realized this isn't even about me, this is about that other person that's watching this video. If you're scared to do a podcast, it's not about you. It's about what are you going to bring to your listeners and how is their life going to be changed. And that really killed my perfectionism because, that really held me back from who I could be. And, that's really pretty much all I do right now is content creation all the time and help, Nicholas create content 24/7. So, I really had to overcome that. And if I didn't, I wouldn't be where I am today.
I appreciate you sharing that as well. So you guys are at a pivot point right now with your $1 billion body. What was the point? What was your enough is enough moment, or what made you guys change from what you were doing before into your new business?
Yeah, so we've always been doing the same thing, right? It's just been evolving for over the last 5 years. We've been coaching people in health and fitness. I've been a part of the industry for 7 years. We launched our first company together 5 years ago, and then officially launched our actual true challenge, which was the company before the $1 billion body, in January of 2015. And that's where we, really went after males and females because everyone was attracted. At that point, we were just trying to do whatever it took to just, make a solid income. But from there, we realized that, we had to give up the good for the great. We knew that we were supposed to work with men. That was always our heart. But we took on women because we want to help. We want to see everyone take on a transformation. And to be honest, they all killed it, right? We've had 526 clients. We have a 100% success rate with a 1% drop-off rate. So that's unheard of in our industry, and will continue to be unheard of in all areas in this industry. So, through that time, it was really great. But we were starting to question, a couple months ago, what are we giving up? We're making a solid income. We're doing 5 figures a month, doing all these different things that are really great for a 24 and 22-year-old. But what are we giving up by not doing what we know we should do? And I had a quote come to me when I was 18 years old that I needed to remember a couple months ago, and it was, I'd rather do what I know is right and fail than do what I already know is wrong and succeed. And I've never heard anyone ever say that before in my entire life, but it came to me when I was praying about something when I was 18 years old. And I've tried to live by that. And so knowing that we were supposed to coach men, high level, achieving the number one influencers in the world, and the people that are going to be those influencers, we knew we were supposed to coach them. And so at that point I was like, you know what? Let's launch the $1 billion body, which we came about that name because we wanted men to look and feel like $1 billion and to have $1 billion body. And so, it just came from that. I'd rather do what I know is right, which is training the top men in the world, and potentially fail. Give up income, give up whatever it takes, rather than doing what I already know is wrong, which is serving everyone, creating a message for everyone just to make more money and succeed in everyone else's eyes. Everyone would think that we're doing great. And so we just gave up the good for the great, and we launched the $1 billion body, and Just looking for those high achieving men that want to get massive results and look and feel like $1 billion.
Yeah, you two are really breaking all of the barriers as far as I see them, because there's no shortage of people in the fitness industry. There's no shortage of people trying to help other people get fit and healthy. And you see people something new coming up all the time, and some things come and some things go. And then you have folks out there who want to get into the space but feel that it's saturated, there's not enough for them. But you two have just put yourself into it. And then, being as young as you are, you've broken that barrier. You know, people would think, well, how could somebody so young be so successful in this niche? And partly because you've really niched down again so much. One, you've niched because you've got yourselves and your personalities and your training methods and your healthy nutrition and everything else that goes along with that. But now you're niching down again and just working directly with men. And again, it's just mind-blowing, because we see it all the time. I hear people on other podcasts are asking questions like, you know, of Pat Flynn or any of the other hosts out there. How can I work into this space and make it work when it's already so saturated? And time again, we see people doing it, but you two are really taking it to a whole new level.
Yeah, and I met with Pat Flynn here not too long ago, and if you just look at what he's done, how he started, you can always start with one thing and niche and then branch out from there. A lot of people want to branch out right at the beginning and become this super, very diverse, I'm a business coach, health coach, / accountability coach all together in one right at the bat. It's just getting good at one thing. Pat started off with his podcast and dominated at it, right? And he did that one thing really well and had that message, and since then has branched out to speaking and doing all these other things with products. And, we just interviewed the Skinny Confidential, which is the #1 health blog at one point in the world, and just a lifestyle beauty blog for women now. And we just interviewed them. And again, they started out with their blog. They started out with health. And that was the one thing they started out with. Then they started branching out to other things. So I think there's a lot to be said with that. One of our mentors and business coach, James Malinchek, we were just on the phone with him talking about our branding, which, again, get a coach where you want to grow. Really. I mean, just don't go learn and go through all the crap that we went through, they went through. There's just no reason for it. We don't need another person to build a ship and sail across the ocean and tell us that there's land on the other side. We already know this. People have already discovered it. We don't need you to go out there and discover it again, because it's pointless and it's a waste of time. So the coaches help. And for our coach, James Malinchek, he said, I don't care if you niche down to 100 people. As long as those 100 people give you $10,000 this year and we do 7 figures, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter if you only have 100 people that could possibly be a client. That's how niche you are in the whole world. Those 100 people are going to be the perfect clients for you. And, get 100 people to pay you $10,000. That's $1 million. So,
yes, we talk a lot about coaches on Men of Abundance and the importance of coaches and how time-saving it is, how much money you save. It's just the best way to, and you just summed it up right there perfectly, exactly what we talk about. Now, I know you guys have a lot of good news stories, but I would like to hear a good news story specifically based on what made you want to go directly into training men in health and fitness.
Just a story is the people that we've worked with, the testimonies that we have received. We like to think of health very holistically. When people say health, they just think of going to the gym or something, but it's so much more than that. And when we see a man get more confidence, they then start making more money. We have one client who, he is a comedian and he also does films. He has a company with 200 employees. So this guy is super successful. But he shows up to auditions now in his, comedy club things that he does. And he's so much more confident. He gets so many more gigs for that. He gets so many more callbacks from his auditions. He has a better relationship with his fiance now. It's so inspiring. He has more energy. He's posting on social media more. So that's just a story that really is it just blows our mind how different his life is. He runs ads about his transformation on Facebook for fun because he's so excited about it. And we're like, wow, if we can just help more men like that how like their lives will be completely changed. And it's been such an amazing experience.
And just to touch on that as well is like, for me, I just looked at the health and fitness, thing in general. Like, everyone's focusing on women. Women are the ones that diet. They diet 5 times a year. They always buy a different program, all this different stuff. I just took what everyone was doing and just did the exact opposite. Just like, you know what, we're gonna work with men. And not only that, I want to work with the men I want to be around. I started my first company when I was 12 years old, and so I was a business owner at heart before I gained 60 pounds and had that all stripped away from me. There was no way on the planet that I was ever going to have the confidence at 60 pounds overweight, feeling the worst I'd ever felt, to go do anything. And so I saw the direct result of how being a business owner at 12 and then losing everything and just feeling like crap and not being able to do anything, how that affected me. So I noticed that if we can work with the top business owners that we want to be around, those are the people that I want to associate myself with and see grow. And so altogether, we just, took what we liked. Like, again, people always say, write on a piece of paper the 3 things that you like to do. Write on a piece of paper the 3 things that you're, like, really good at, and blend them and brainstorm and come up with something that you can actually do with it to profit. Because you do have to be really good. I've put in my more than 10,000 hours in health, right? So you have to be good at what you do. You can't be a basketball player and decide, I really love football, I'm going to go try out. You're not going to make it. And so I see too many people doing that as well. You have to be good.
The thing I really get from that I really resonate with, and specifically for Men of Abundance, is you're working with the men that you want to work with. And this can be true in any case, even for those of you who, are wage earners, you have your job, you can choose who you want to work with. It's a little bit more difficult sometimes, but I'm the same way. I've had people that were either referred to me or have contacted me and have a message that they want to share on the show. After communicating with them and talking with them a little bit, I realized they're not a fit for the show because they're not somebody that I would sit down and have a conversation with at Starbucks, for instance. I just don't have time for that.
Yeah.
And life is too short, right?
Right. It is too short. And and it makes for conversation so much better, especially on a podcast when you're really engaged with the guest.
So at this point, we are going to pay it forward to Men of Abundance and the community. Are you ready for that?
I'm ready for it.
Men of Abundance, one of the big ways that I keep the mic on and I keep this podcast going every week, and I'm going to keep it going in the future, is the affiliates that we are affiliated with and the partnerships that we have with those affiliates. Now, I'm big into health and nutrition, and it's very important to me and my family, and I will only introduce to you what I personally introduce to my family. Shakeology is something I've been drinking for almost 5 years now. I drink this stuff every single day. It is a dense nutrition shake. It is by far the healthiest meal of my day. I start my day every single morning with a Shakeology. Now, my favorite flavor is greenberry. My wife loves the vanilla, and she likes to put a little bit of PB2 or peanut butter in it. Now, recently, we've both fallen in love with the cafe latte. That one is unbelievable. If you like coffee, you are going to love it. This stuff is 100% natural. It's got over 70 ingredients in it, tons of superfoods like ashwagandha, goji berry, you name it. I'm not going to go through the whole list here. So yeah, Shakeology's got all this great stuff in it, but what has it done for me? What it's done for me is, number one, it greatly improved my cholesterol. It improved my cholesterol to the point that my doctor swore I was on Lipitor or something. He originally wanted to put me on Lipitor, and I decided I was going to find another way. Ironically enough, that same week, I found Shakeology. In addition to that, I have joint issues, I have arthritis issues, and Shakeology helps me with all of that. It helps me with my blood pressure. It helps people with their diabetes because it's very low on the glycemic index. I can go on and on about the health benefits of Shakeology. I do have to throw in the disclaimer because by law I have to do that. Shakeology is not a cure for anything. All I can tell you is my experience and the personal experience that I know of close friends of mine who have been drinking Shakeology as long as I have or longer. It's truly amazing stuff, and you want to get it in your family. You can find out everything you want to know about Shakeology by going to the resources page at menofabundance.com. Scroll down to where it says health and nutrition, and you will see the Shakeology link there. Now, I will tell you, with everything that you get in one glass of Shakeology, it comes out to about $4.50 a serving. That's less than your average Starbucks latte. And you get no nutritional value whatsoever with that. Don't get me wrong, I like my latte at Starbucks as well, but when it comes to spending money, I make sure I spend my money in the right place, and I make sure I'm getting the proper nutrition and making sure my family's getting the proper nutrition. If that's important to you like it is to me, give Shakeology a try. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee. All right, let's get back to the show. Awesome. So give Men of Abundance 1 to 3 actionable steps that they can take.
Well,
today.
I'm going to give this to Nicholas because he has some amazing tips that he shares with our clients, and it transforms everyone's life. I mean, they're simple, but they're life-changing.
So from a health standpoint, this is a big thing, right? Like, you need to figure out where you want to be, and even in general life, this is going to work for any template you want. You need to project where you're going to be or where you see yourself in 30 years. Right? A lot of people just are working on whatever is in front of them, and they're just doing the monotonous tasks. Project where do you want to be and where do you see yourself in 30 years? Is it married? Is it not married? Is it with kids? Is it without kids? What are you working on? How much are you working? And backtrack from there. So that's the first thing, right? You figure out where you want to be. And then you need to go back to where you're at now, and you need to then figure out what is the things that you need to do to get to where you want to be. And that's number 2, is what are the action items that I have to do and take? What type of lifestyle do I have to live? Out of the 3 big things, there's only 3 things you really have to care about in your life. It's going to be your health, it's going to be your family, it's going to have to be your business, the way you make an income. So out of those 3 things, what are the action items that you need to do to create that person that you see in the future? And then the 3rd thing is actually taking action on it. The best way to take action is just to take action. The best way to kill procrastination is by taking action. So if there's 3 things really that that men can go do right now to go see results in every area of their life, is to look ahead, backtrack from there to where you're at, and what do you have to do to get there, and then go and take action on it.
Amazing. I love it. What habits make up the biggest impact in your life?
Oh, I'll tell you right now, health is the number 1 impactor on every area of your life. Let me explain. The reason why health is the number 1 impactor on everything, because like I said, health and relationships and then business, those are the 3 things that people care about. 526 clients, that's the top 3 of all of them. From there, you have to figure out which one affects all 3. You have relationship as the number 1 priority. Okay, well, if my relationships are going bad, how does that affect my health and business? You know, my business, I start getting lackadaisical. I don't care about it as much. My health, I just let it go to crap, and I decrease both of those. Now, if relationships are going really well, they may make you feel better about yourself, want to go become the best person, and you can work out and do that kind of thing. And it might make you feel better at business, but ultimately it's not always going to be helping. Now, when it comes to, because you can't fully control relationships, right? Someone could tell you you're a jerk and it won't make you feel that good. Like, there's different things in relationship that you can't control besides yourself. When it comes to business, you cannot control everything all the time. I can't control whether someone's going to buy something over the phone, buy something on the internet. I can't control any of that. I could just give it my best shot. So if my life's controlled by whether people are taking action on something I can't control, I'm still not going to be happy. So the number 1 habit that has really transformed my life and my business and my relationships is making my health the number 1 priority. There's only 5 physical parts of health that you need to do every single day, and that's breathe, hydrate, sleep, eat, and exercise. Like, those are the 5 things, right? Out of those 5 things, you don't need any help with them. They're the only things in your life you can physically control. You can control when you go to bed. You can control how you breathe and when you breathe, and hopefully you're breathing often, or you would have died already during this podcast if you haven't breathed since we started. From there, hydration. If you're 1 to 3% dehydrated as an entrepreneur, as a man, you're going to be performing at 5 to 10% less than everyone around you that is hydrated. So hydration. Who can stop you from drinking water? Nobody can. Who can stop you from eating the right foods? Nobody can, unless you are controlled by your cravings. So, and then exercise. No one can stop you from exercising. Look at Sean Stevenson. If you haven't looked him up, go look him up. He can't walk. He's been in a wheelchair his whole life. If you flicked his arm, he would break a bone, and he works out multiple times a week and has a 6-pack. So at that point, anyone can do it. Those 5 things you can fully control. If you can't control yourself, then you can't control any other area of your life. So what better way to have full control over your life than actually taking action on the things that you can control? So making health my number one priority is by far giving me results in every other area, because I'm always satisfied, because I'm always executing on things I can actually control.
Well, it's no surprise that that is by far the best answer that I've heard, in my mind anyway, and the most thorough answer, especially as it relates to making health and fitness your number one habit throughout the day. Absolutely. What book would you recommend to abundant leaders?
Well, I know that the book that Nicholas would recommend, it is Think and Grow Rich. It's interesting because I've only heard the Audible version of it, but Nicholas has done the Audible. He's read the actual book, and it is one of the most powerful books out there. Ask most successful people, everyone's pretty much read that book. It's just a classic, and it just really talks about the power of your mind. So if you really want a goal to become accomplished, if you really want something, then you need to read that book, because we've actually integrated that book into our program. We have everyone do a Think and Get Fit mission statement, and his is Think and Get Rich, and you have this one mission statement that you repeat to yourself every single day, and it's crazy. It actually does happen. If you follow the system of what Napoleon Hill sets out in that book, you can apply it to every area of your life, and so it's a really, really good book.
Between that book and my copy of How to Win Friends and Influence People are probably the two oldest books that I still have that I haven't lent out and not got back. But that book, I think, is mistitled, because a lot of people get the wrong impression just by the title, and that is certainly Don't Judge a Book by Its Cover, because there's so much in that book, and it's a book to be studied, not just read. So I'll definitely have that book in the show notes at menofabundance.com/037, and you'll be able to reference any other links that we talk about on the show in the show notes. So I have one last question for you guys, and that is, what does living a life of abundance mean?
So living a life of abundance to me is, being in abundance without having any external abundance around you. I believe that everything internal manifests externally, and if you're unhappy with your external world, then you should look into your internal world and see what's going on. So having an abundance to me is being satisfied yet hungry at all times, being happy, 100% happy, but understanding where there's growth at all times, and not having outside influence your happiness, your wealth state, all the different emotions and everything that you would associate with being abundant, whatever words you want to put to it, because words are just words, but the actual feeling and what it causes inside of you, being in an abundant state is the state that you're in before the abundance comes. And so, I believe that that's exactly the definition of abundance to me, is being able to be in this state that attracts the finances, the happiness, the relationships, the communication, the growth, whatever it is that you like, being able to get into that state before it actually manifests physically. Because if you can be okay and happy in all situations, then you are just more happy with the actual stuff, rather than allowing stuff to dictate your happiness.
Amazing answer. I absolutely love it. Did you want to weigh in on that, Amanda?
Well, he just took the words out of my mouth, but just really being present every single day. I think abundance is like what you said earlier today. The first question you asked us was, what are you grateful for? And I think that if we can just focus in on that in every single moment and not get caught up thinking about the future, thinking about the past, but really be present, I think that's where abundance is then allowed into our lives, is when we're just fully grateful for the moment we're in right now, and not trying to, hurry up and speed things up of time, or, living in the past. I think being present is really, really crucial. And I just wanted to applaud you for putting this podcast together. I absolutely love it. I heard the name and I was like, oh my gosh, we need to get on this podcast. I freaking love this name. I love this mission. And then you reached out to us. So I just want to say thank you so much for having us on.
Oh, thank you so much for that. I truly appreciate that. And this has truly been a very fun and abundant and amazing conversation with both of you. I'm so glad I could get both of you on. But before we let you go, If you have, I'm sure you've got so much more information to share, but if you could just share a parting piece of guidance in any way that we can get in touch with you, I would absolutely love that.
Yeah, so my parting piece of guidance would be just to apply the things that we talked about today. The biggest thing that I see people do is they listen, and then they do not apply, and then they go listen and read more. And that is one way to lose respect with the people around you. If you want to gain respect and be looked at more like a leader, find people that have fruit in their lives, with relationships, health, and business and influence, and go and actually apply what they said. So if you found value in this podcast, the biggest takeaway that I want to get from it is from you just to go and apply the things that we talked about and get the fruit of applying that specific technique. And also something I want to be able to give to everyone is if you go to thebilliondollarbody.com, you can scroll down and get our 15-day challenge for free. It's going to be the number one way you can get six-pack abs and boost your testosterone naturally. So I want to be able to have that be a resource. So it comes with actually 15 videos of me actually on video, short video, teaching you how to do the workout, why it's effective, and then along with 15 emails from me specifically as well. So wanted to make sure that we gave massive value on your show, and I want to get everyone connected there so that we can see your transformation and so that you can take the guessing game out of health. So that you can do what you're good at. This is what we're good at, and that's why we execute on it, just so you can be better and can execute more on what you're good at.
I appreciate that, and I'm definitely going to take you up on that myself because I like switching up my routine. I can't get stuck in a routine for too long for a couple reasons, but mainly because I have inherent joint issues because of my background.
Yeah, it's great. It's great for your body to do that. So yeah, check out that 15-day challenge. Nicholas and I have poured so much into it to make it just absolutely amazing. And again, we're getting great feedback on it. So we're excited to connect with you and your listeners and see how we can create your guys' transformation as well.
Excellent. I'll be on there this evening. So once again, thanks you guys. I really appreciate it. Amanda and Nicholas, so you guys have an amazing day, and thanks again for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
All right, Men of Abundance, that's all I have for you today. Make sure you share this episode with others so that we can reach that 1 million downloads. I'm still on that trail, and I'm still chugging along. You can help us out by simply sharing this episode with others. Now, go out and live your life of abundance, and make sure to pay it forward.
That's all for today, Abundance Leaders. For more about our guests and the powerful information we shared with you today, be sure to sign up for our mailing list at menofabundance.com. We appreciate your time and look forward to hanging out with you on our next episode. So until then, be sure to pay it forward and live your life of abundance.